This is the only deer in this room that was killed with a gun. I shot this deer in 1985 in Maine. At the time I was probably 25 years old, I think. I'm not even sure. I'd have to do the math. And I was hunting for probably 7 or 8 years. I think that was the 8th deer I had killed. And it was just impossible to see a wrapped buck, it seemed to me. I bought Larry Benoit's book, How to Bag the Biggest Buck of Your Life. And we went up to Maine. I ended up crossing this deer's path and I chased it for most of the day. I shot at it 9 times throughout the day. I grazed it 3 times, and I think it was on my 7th shot I hit it solid and knocked it down. I knew then I was going to get it. I killed it 11 miles from the car, and that was the only deer I had seen that whole entire week. The next year I went back there again, and the guys I went with, nobody seen anything. The next year we went back there again. Through the course of the week, I didn't see a deer again. The last day we were there, I tracked another deer for most of the day. I ended up shooting at that one 7 times that day. And I caught up to it a bunch of times, mostly all running shots. I had one opportunity to shoot the deer at about 30 yards when it stepped out in front of me out of some Christmas trees. I picked up the gun and put the crosshairs on it, and the gun went click. If I was more experienced, I would have just froze right there as the deer turned to look at me. I think if I would have froze and let the deer walk up the side of the hill like where it was going, because it was going into wide open timbers, let it get 100 yards away and pull the bolt back and let it spin forward, I probably would have got another standing and or walking shot at that deer. But I panicked when the gun didn't go off. The deer was 30 yards away from me. I reached for the bolt. It was a Remington 760 semi-automatic. I pulled it back, let another bullet go into the chamber. The deer took off running, and I missed it again. When I shot this deer here, I was just a beginner at it. I got excited. When I caught up to this deer, I can remember shooting it, try to shoot it through a tree as the deer was coming up, and I just panicked. Tried to shoot it through the tree. The next shot I took, shot another tree, probably 6 feet in front of the gun. But eventually I did get this deer. Like I said, I killed it 11 miles from the car. I had some guy in a logging truck. He came down a logging road. I hadn't crossed the road all day. I killed it at 3:45 in the afternoon, the day after Thanksgiving. And I dragged it for 2 miles downhill the wrong way on the first road that I had crossed through the course of the day. But I had a compass reading. I knew I'd eventually hit a tarred road that was running from north to south. A guy came down in his logging truck. It had snowed that morning. He was picking up logs, and he seen me dragging the deer the wrong way. He came down looking for me, and I asked him, "How did you know I was lost?" He says, "Because I knew you were dragging the deer down a road that came to a dead end, and I knew there was no other cars that traveled down that road, so I knew you were lost." He picked up the deer with the forks that they pick up the logs on and stack them on the truck right by the antlers, put it on the top of the logs, and drove me back to my car. At one time, that was the biggest deer I ever shot in my life. But trying to get guys to go back to a place where nobody sees any deer, you go for a week, it's kind of depressing. But that's what got me into archery hunting. I did like shooting big deer with, rifles and stuff like that, but, finding guys that wanted to go someplace and run deer down in the snow wasn't too easy to do. I got into the archery hunting, and that's why these deer are like this. I like the archery hunting better. Not only that, you get to shoot more deer and fill your freezer, and that's what I'm more concerned with. See you on the next one.